Hello, my guest for today's interview is Mr. Deepak Suri, Head of Customer Solutions South Asia for Maersk, which is an integrated transport and logistics company with multiple brands. Mr. Deepak has more than 15 years of experience working across different aspects of the supply chain, from ocean shipping to inland logistics and connected digital solutions. An alumnus of Excel RA Jamshedpur, Deepak has worked across South Asia and Africa. He has been responsible for supply chain development in multiple industries, including retail, FMCG, telecom, and cold chain. Mr. Deepak Suri, welcome to the ET Retail Show.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for inviting.
Yeah. So my first question to you: digitalization of the retail industry globally is on the rise. How do you see the ongoing market scenario? What does it mean to your customers? Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thanks. It's a very relevant question, in fact, to start the conversation. Digitization, if I can explain in a very simple way, the textbook definition is actually to convert an existing signal, which used to be analog in earlier days, to a digital form. In business sense, what this means is to convert paper-based, counter-based, manual transactions into digital form. Now the question comes up is that why businesses are looking at digitization. It's mainly because of two factors. It saves time, it saves effort, and hence gives you cost saving. Another second factor, which is more important, is that it helps these companies to focus on growth, to focus on the core business which they are into, rather than getting stuck with day-to-day manual processes. Let me explain this to you with an example. We have a product called TradeLens, which is a blockchain-based open and neutral platform available to the industry. It has a product called EBL, Electronic Bill of Lading, essentially. Now this BL issuance, which we do to our customers once we receive the cargo for shipping it from point A to point B, it's not new. It's been happening for centuries. The process was very manual, is very manual so far also, where it's issued by carrier to the shipper. It's negotiated with all the core and intermediary banks, and finally reaches consignee. Consignee takes it to the carrier, to us, for example, we or any other shipping company, and receives the goods. TradeLens, what TradeLens did is, TradeLens digitized this whole process. Just to give you a number, 3,000 transactions alone happened in India in 21, where companies starting from a small tea exporter to a large Fortune 500 used this. What it did, it digitized the whole BL flow, where it was issued online, it was negotiated online within the banks, and it reached to the consignee in a digital form, and finally reached to the carrier in a digital form. What in turn it did is, it saved almost 10 to 11 days of this physical movements of this document, which otherwise would have happened.
Okay.
The complete cost related to it, tracking of those BLs, if God forbid an error happens in that BL, bringing it back all the way, getting it corrected, sending it back. All that hassles have been taken away. COVID, no COVID, lockdown, no lockdown, this digital process works seamlessly. And this is what it means to a customer. How this digitization is changing their day-to-day work, how it's helping them. That's the essence of digitization, if you ask me.
Challenges are part of every industry and every process. If you understand the specifics, what are the specific challenges that digitization can address in retail industry? If you can explain.
Thank you. Yeah. So digitization and any other technology intervention must follow or guide in the direction of consumer expectation, customer expectation, so to say. And retail, of course, the expectation of the customer is being changing very, very fast. And hence the retail industry has a clear-cut task cut out. Let me categorize the challenges which this industry faces in three broad categories, and then I will explain how digitization is helping the industry in all these three categories. So the first one is the pressure to reduce the product cycles. So no more brands have got the luxury of creating the products and launching the products in a specific time frame and only during those seasons in a year. So all those things have changed. There are new products, there are new markets. So being digitally enabled, what is happening is that these companies are getting insights beforehand to develop these products. It's bringing the agility in the whole process, reducing the number of iterations which otherwise would have happened. It is giving a structured platform to look at the data right from all the departments' point of view. For example, procurement, production, lost sales, transport delays. All this information is coming at one place for the analysis so that the brand or the company can take the action in the necessary area. It's not fragmented or sitting in a specific silo. This is one area where companies are facing challenges, but digitization is also coming very handy to help the companies. So the second challenge, in my view, would be the pressure to reduce and predict the delivery timelines. So this, of course, all of us know, it started from days and now it's in minutes. I don't know, it'll move into single digit minutes in I don't know, a few months. But then what it means is that whether it's a next door grocery delivery or it's an export shipment, reduced and predictable transit time is now expected from the industry. And digitization here comes very, very handy, where it says that, having digital and connected processes help the customers get triggers in real time. And just to put it in perspective, we have a product called Maersk Flow, our digital supply chain platform, which allows customers to interact with their buyers, sellers, and all the entire ecosystem in their supply chain, right from the PO issuance to the stage of booking, then sharing documents on the platform. And it's all happening digitally. What it is giving is, it's giving the entire data at one place through which companies are able to see the dashboards. And these dashboards are almost like a cockpit view of their business right at the SKU level. So again, visibility, which is giving power in the hands of company to take decisions. So, and the third one, if you ask me, is the challenge which retail industry is facing, is the flexible supply chain model, ability to create the flexible supply chain model. Here, however good the supply chain of retail was earlier, or whoever were the leaders, they all have been challenged. And the reason is that there's no one right model. Consumer expectations are changing, and the industry itself is highly susceptible to disruption. We have all seen that in last 2 years. It's hyper dynamic. Digitization itself, interestingly, is helping the industry, but at the same time, it's also increasing the complexity in the retail supply chain by reducing the timelines, the expectation for timelines by the customers. Coming up of quick commerce, omni-channel, all these things which are coming up are challenging companies, but at the same time providing the tools. For a company like Maersk, of course, being present in all aspects of the supply chain helps us to deliver these flexible supply chain models to our customers. So in my view, if you ask me, these three factors of reducing the product timelines to the market, reducing the delivery timelines, or rather I would say predicting the delivery timelines, and having a good flexible supply chain model are the three areas where industry is focusing, and in all the three areas, digitization is helping them.
Okay. My next question: with the changing dynamics of retail into omni-channel and instant commerce, what role will digitization play in supply chain, and how will it benefit?
A very relevant question, very in topic, I would say, omni-channel. So, omni-channel, instant commerce, quick commerce, is not just speed. Speed is not the only factor which is bringing up this thing. It's the way of consumer demanding flexibility from the industry. It's the way customer coming up and telling you that I will decide when you will ship, when you will deliver, where you will deliver, and how you will deliver. And industry, of course, has to cater to that. And that is how these new models are coming up to serve this kind of customer expectations. What essentially omni-channel would mean is that instead of earlier model of creating all the electronic infrastructure or brick and mortar infrastructure and then predicting the market to come there, omni-channel is essentially a very customer specific supply strategy where customer is guiding in which areas, which channel they prefer, how much they prefer that specific channel, and company is adapting or balancing between the digital versus physical models to make sure that the customer is delivered the expectation in the best possible way. This of course needs a very very good information flow, because and I'll explain that in a while, and of course it also requires a very good physical flow of the goods. Now assume if digitization is not there, then also you can deliver the shipments in 10 minutes. I mean, you have to create inventory at every nook and corner. You're duplicating the inventory. What this essentially will do is, this will not make the process commercially viable. It is still feasible. Digitization is making this process, or at least striving to make this process commercially viable, where the key is to deliver within manageable inventory, within manageable returns, manageable damages, wastages, so that the businesses can run well, the brands can run the bottom line as well. This is what is happening, and how is this happening? Is by the concept of inventory sharing. So the same inventory which is available, let's say in the store, is visible in the electronic form. It's not being duplicated physically. It's just that the location or the visibility of the inventory is being shown at two places. But this allows brand to keep a reasonable amount of inventory in the system. And of course, the other thing which it does is, if you have inventory at multiple places, it is telling basis customers' location, demand location. It is also helping you pick the place to serve the products from, the best place or the nearest place. So the last mile delivery optimization is happening. And all this is happening not for the 100, 200 products. Using digitization, this is getting achieved for thousands and lakhs of SKUs under grocery, under personal care, under multiple categories. And this is simply unimaginable without digitization to achieve this kind of optimization.
Thank you, Mr. Deepak. Another question: from simple online booking to visibility, how is digitization evolving for the supply chain?
So this is a very interesting topic and very close to my heart. I started my career in 2016 when at that time also in Maersk, the bookings were online. Customers, all the three channels were there with few other companies. Even the phone was the channel which was available. In some other companies, it was email as a method was used. So what essentially started was conversion of this information which was available on email or a phone into an online platform. But today this online booking, there's nothing called simple online booking anymore. What this whole booking thing is changed to, or has changed to, is that the entire management of the shipment happens online, starting with the planning. So the entire planning, right from checking the schedules, checking the prices, checking the documentation requirement, happens online. And then the request comes, of course, the booking request comes. Next step, uploading the documents, uploading the instructions. If it is a domestic travel, let's say e-way bills. If it is a international business movement, then let's say the custom document or any other document for the international trade, they're all uploaded in the system. And from this space where all this data is there, the information is then shared with the right agency who need that. For example, with the regulators, with customs, with ports, and all the other different players in the supply chain who need that information seamlessly. So what is, and as Maersk, if I can say, the integration of ocean and logistics service provide, for us, which started, years back, gives us a unique advantage and allows us the flexibility to keep one platform for this entire business, whether you are using a single product or you're using product bundles, which include ocean, rail, trucking, air freight movements, warehousing, distribution services, all those things coming at one place and at one platform. And then, now if we talk about the step, so now you have the data, you have all the players in the ecosystem. Now, if you deploy the best-in-class automation tools, AI, machine learning, then this whole thing is giving you the predictive analytics. What it is telling you is the triggers which help you to take the decision in your supply chain. And that is the power of visibility. It's not about some fancy dashboard. It's about the data which is given to you at the right time for you to take the right actions. It might not be able to stop all the disruptions, but it certainly will give you insights to manage them. So I give a small experiment which we did, and as a company we are in, our containers get stuffed every day, thousands of containers. However, we adopted a AI-based experiment where we deployed to see that the container stuffing efficiency and the different ways in which a cargo can be stuffed in containers using artificial intelligence. And initial trends have shown us that almost 9 to 16%, depending upon different cargo types, optimization is being achieved. And let's say these experiments show a lot more results in the future and they need to be scaled. Then what will happen is that using digitization, they can be scaled across geographies, across industries. And this is the power of the evolution on digital, which we are being part of.
Okay. My last question, Mr. Deepak. How is evolution making supply chains a core competency with the involvement from different stakeholders at different decision points?
So, coming from evolution in the last question, I would say that the second part of your question is very, very relevant. A core competency with involvement from different stakeholders at different decision points. So we all know that supply chain as a core competency is being adopted by many companies in the past, but it was more towards the right sourcing strategy. However, now what has happened is there's another dimension which is added to this core competency, which is that the decision making around the supply chain has become a lot more social. So it is not just about the logistics department or the supply chain department. Boardrooms, marketing heads, CIOs of the company, they all want to be part of supply chain decision making. And there are two reasons why this is happening. One is the traditional supply chains have been disrupted heavily in pandemic. Exposures have gone up, costs have gone up, new product launches and the expectation from the customers have gone up. And the second very important factor is the digital channels adopted by the new companies, startups. They have created different ways for the companies to interact with their consumers. And this is also syncing very well with the customers. So it's also challenging the established players to look at their supply chain through the connected lens. So just to quote in a survey which we conducted, and what came out was that 93% of the cargo owners said that improved data-driven decision making is essential to the future success of our supply chain. So again, if I give an example from one of the products which we have, open and platform trade lens which we have, which as I explained is underpinned by blockchain technology. Another product which it has is called Core. And what Core does is Core interacts with the entire network of the supply chain. So it brings all the players who are involved in the supply chain on blockchain and tracks more than 130 different events in the supply chain through the journey of the entire shipment. And what it does is it is sharing this information in the real time with all the stakeholders. So it's not that somebody's sending the information and across on an email or something. Right at the same time, it's being shared. Of course, whoever is allowed for that data. And then it is also giving the business intelligence tool for the customers to look at this data. So not the data dump, but meaningful insights from the data. And then it is giving a lot of collaboration ways between the parties so that they can collaborate, they can look at the challenges or they can look at the opportunities and then interact well to either avoid the disruptions or increase the overall ROI of the entire business which they're doing.
Thank you, Mr. Deepak. Let me just one question would like to know which are the 3 changes that you witnessed before COVID, after COVID, in terms of technology adoption or cultural changes which retail industry has witnessed enormously in the last 24 months, according to your experience?
So, if you ask me this, there are 2-3 things. One is that the as I already explained, the customer channel expectation is changing. So none of the existing channels which were there, whether it is the traditional marketplace or e-marketplace or the brick and mortar stores, is going away. They all are staying where they are. The supply chain which was there for the, let's say, 8 hours delivery, it's staying there. But then quick commerce has also come up. So different channels are increasing. And the way these channels interact with consumer are also changing. Of course, many of them are still adopting the digital, are being, riding on the digital wave itself. So one is the change in the channels, that it has changed. The old channels have not gone up. We have seen the nearby, mom and pop store serving the needs of the customers during lockdowns. So the importance of that channel has stayed where it is. It's just that the new channels have come up. Customers want to go through different channels and at the same time keep the traditional ones there. Second one is the product packaging sizes or the product itself have gone up. So for example, if you talk about FMCG, the cooking at home or the condiment category as a whole, if you see, it has, and many other categories, spices, many other things which we have seen in our daily lives. We have seen that the categories have widened. The depth in the categories have gone up. So, because of the customer expectation. So this is another, and what this has done is, of course, this has pushed the companies to launch a lot more products. It has pushed the companies to launch the product much faster. And of course, whichever products are not working out, pull them out and bring up the new ones. So it is definitely for last 2 years keeping the retail industry on the toes. And the third thing which we have witnessed is that the companies, let's say from India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, many of these companies have found new markets, not just in India, but outside as well. And the digital channels to sell their products in these countries are helping them grow very fast. Amazon taking Indian brands to sell on Amazon.com in US, and many of them making big there is a testament that there's a lot of demand for Indian products, innovative products which are launched not just by established companies, but the new age companies are finding their place globally. So of course, supply chain is being part of all these 3 factors where it is getting impacted. But yeah, as Maersk, if I can say, we are working with a lot of brands, not just for the domestic distribution, taking them outside India, wherever they are finding the markets, helping them channels, and whether they are doing e-business or they are doing physical offline store business. So that these are the 3 main factors, if you ask me, which are making, you can say, new opportunities or disruptions which have happened in the last 2 years.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Deepak Suri, talking to ETRetail.com and sharing your insights on the supply chain and other aspects of the retail industry. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. My pleasure.